welcome back to another video here on my vlog channel. Today's video is, I would say part 2, not sure whether that's going to be the title, but we'll go with it anyway, of my new Nigel Gresley and just doing some maintenance on it. By maintenance, I mean getting it to run in the first place. So, you know, that's the level of maintenance we're going for. So, yeah, quite a few things need to be done. One of them probably being I need to go and turn on my main light in my room, otherwise you guys probably can't see much of the engine. So I'm going to pause the video for a second and I'll be back once the light is on and the lighting should be a little bit better. So see you in a second. Right, I am back and hopefully, oh yeah, that's a lot better. You can see detail better now, so that's much better. One thing I would like to specify quickly, which I've just noticed, is on here, this looks like a dark royal blue. In real life, it's closer to a teal. Like it's a really sort of light greeny style blue. So yeah, don't think it's the blue you're seeing on camera, because it's not. It's quite a lot lighter and quite a lot closer to a green. If I could give you a correct colour match, I would, but it just sort of warps the colour out. But anyway, let's get back to the point of the video, which is we need to fix the motor and or power because it doesn't work. So that needs fixing. Now, before we get into that, I want to say that this setup is going to go at some point, because in the next couple of weeks I'm going to start doing some off-camera preparation work, so then I can start doing some vlogs on here of me building my new work area or workbench for all engines that need repairing and all that, which means you guys will get a new setup, so you guys can see trains being repaired in a nicer and a much cleaner environment, and then there'll be a couple other surprises along with that, which will be revealed once the project gets started. So make sure to, you know, stay around for that. Anyway, that's not the priority of this video. Sorry for the loud dropping noise there. We have a bit of track, which turns out quite useful when you want to test trains, because they tend to run on track. Yeah, I know. I've spent the past 3, maybe 4 days at this point, since like Sunday, working on an engine. If I'm being completely honest, I'm really exhausted and quite tired. I'm just simply working on an engine for so long. So if I sound like I'm stating the obvious a lot, or sound like I'm a little bit more sort of, I wouldn't say aggressive, but a little bit less normal, that's because I'm overly tired and I would much prefer a week off from working on engines than working on more engines, which obviously the latter of which is the correct answer of what I have done. Because, you know, I've gone from only having one engine to work on the background, or 2 or 3, you know, to now about 10, which, if you're wondering, yeah, don't take on 10 projects when you're already working on one. It just doesn't end well. So little advice there. But once I get the new setup, it should be a little bit easier and better to work on them. Anyway, what we need to what we need to do first off, is we need to test the power. So, oh dear. Well, ladies and gentlemen, beside the fact I can't speak today, which is a side effect of working on something for so long, this isn't running smoothly, and you can see by the jolting of when I just put power to it, which, for anyone wondering, no, it should not do that. It clearly needs some level of overhaul. So the best option is to take the tender off because that's where the motor is. The motor's in there. It's tender driven, and it's just got some pickups on here. So tender casing or body needs to come off, and then from there we can have a look and inspect the motor when it's moving and see what sort of issues we find. It's probably going to need some oil. I'm sort of predicting that now, although I don't feel like doing that today. So if it does need oil, that'll be for a future video, or I'll do it off camera. So we'll see how I feel upon that matter. But first off, let's get the body off for the tender, and we'll go from there. So I'll be back with you when it's off. See you in a second. Right, so the tender body is now off. Didn't actually take too long to get it off, so that's good. Now the next step here is to gently, and I mean very gently, just ease the entire engine back to the end of the track length that I've got, and then put some power to it and see what it wants to do. Okay, so it's still got power here, it hasn't cut out yet. I'm going to zoom into the gears here, or not. You can see them jumping here, which is not a normal practice. Like you can see it trying here, and the gears just don't have anything to them. It's got a little bit of oil on it. It's not got much. So, for anyone wondering at home, this right now is currently at probably about 80 scale speed, so it should be going scale speed of 80 miles an hour. Or in other words, it should be going perfectly fine without issues. Because once you get about 50 to like 50 or over on the controller, the engine shouldn't have any issues at all. It's generally slow running that you find the issues on. So an engine can't run over 50 with power, then either it's a bad build from manufacturer, or something's gone wrong with the engine. Now, with this being a Hornby engine from the 70s, or at least that is as far as the information I've got, because obviously it's two Silver Foxes were from about the 70s, and this is basically identical to them. From those, and from this, I think it's around 70s, we're not quite sure, because I can't get a quite definitive answer from that, but that sort of seems to be the data I've gotten from inquiries so far. Anyone who knows any more information about, the actual date of when they came out, feel free to type it in the comments. However, it's not a bad build from manufacturer, because it's Hornby. And also, I've seen the two Silver Foxes running perfectly fine. There's no issues with them. And we didn't have to change anything, and build new parts or anything like that. It was just we had to clean up a few things and it ran perfectly fine. So it's not a manufacturer problem, which means then that something in its running life, since it was purchased, has gone wrong. Or it's just wear and tear, or something along those lines. So because it's something like that of an issue, then we need to look here at this tender, and the motor specifically, which by the way does not want to focus. So if my phone would like to focus a lot more, that'd be lovely. So what we've got to do is have a decent look at this motor and figure out what is actually going on. So we'll take the tender off here, put the tender down to the side, we'll take the engine off, move the engine way back to the side, because we won't be needing the engine today for the next bit. So we're going to have a look here into the gears, which the gears look oiled, as you can see there by the shininess on them. They look oiled, except that one looks dry, this one at the back. So you can just see at the back on the left there. That looks bone dry, and the one on the right doesn't look too much better. So they might need a little bit of oil, just to keep them sort of operational and moving. But we shall have a look. The motor inside, which you can't really see on camera too well, you can only just see one sort of section of it. It looks as if it's okay. Not fully honest though, because I can't properly see it. But we'll turn it around here. And we'll have a little look at the back. Now the back, on the right hand side here, are these down things. You can see the right one looks bad. It really does look quite bad. And if anyone thinks I'm going to come out here and say it's completely fine, it has no issues with it whatsoever, it just looks bad, it ain't really bad. I'm not going to say that, because it is bad. In every way you look at it and every way you think of it, it's bad. So it's going to need to be cleaned up with either a wire brush or something to clean it, basically. Which, for this instance, I will probably use a collection of a wire brush and a cleaning spray that I've used previously and doesn't leave residue on the train or track, which is always good. Now, one thing you shouldn't use here is WD-40, because it doesn't actually solve anything, despite what people may think. And there's nothing wrong with the people who think that WD-40 will solve their issues, because it is quite hard to know these sort of things, and unless you are taught them from when you're starting out in the hobby, you're not going to know, which is fair. But yeah, WD-40, not good. So I do not recommend using it unless you want to see your engine get worse. But what I will be using today, well, not today because I haven't got the tools here to do it. In fact, I might use a screwdriver just to clean it off a little bit, but I will have to work on it more off camera with that, because I will need some extra parts and pieces to clean it that I do not currently have available to me, which means I have to go and make a little visit to the one and only Great Walthamstow Pump House Museum, and just borrow their facilities for a little bit to do some work on it, which means bringing this engine over on Sunday and getting a little bit of work done, and hopefully we'll have it running on Sunday as well, which would be quite nice. So that'll be good, but I shall hopefully get you guys a clip of this running soon, but there's probably going to have to be more work to be done first. So with that being said, I cannot continue with this anymore this week, so it'll have to be next week before we continue with it even further. So with that being said, that is the end of this video. We will resume next week with hopefully a few more bits of equipment and a little bit better understanding of the engine. So I shall see you all next week. If you did like this video, please do like, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications when you do subscribe, so you never miss another upload from me. And I'll see you all back here next week for another episode on my A4 Sir Nigel Gresley and trying to get it back up and running again. So I'll see you all next week. Bye for now. Bye.